Tonight, investigators in Yavapai County have cracked the nearly 40-year-old cold case murder of Cathy Sposito.
The 23-year-old was violently killed on Thumb Butte Trail in Prescott back in 1987. And officials say Brian Scott Bennett is the man responsible. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Tram Mai.
I'm Jonathan McCall. Mark and Caribe have tonight off. Detectives say that Bennett was a 16-year-old student at Prescott High at the time of the murders.
Tonight, Team 12's Bianca Bono talks to Cathy Sposito's brother as he reacts to the break in the case.
That's sort of some kind of justice.
Justice Salvatore Sposito has been waiting 36 years to get.
I never thought that they would even solve this case.
The Yavapai County Sheriff's Office announcing the man who murdered Salvatore's younger sister, Cathy, is finally known.
She was a great person.
At 23 years old, Cathy had moved away from New York and was living in Arizona, studying at Prescott College. But in the early morning on June 13th, 1987, Cathy was hiking at Prescott's Thumb Butte Trail when officials say she was attacked by 16-year-old Brian Scott Bennett, a junior at Prescott High School. People heard her screaming for help but couldn't get to her in time. Bennett hit her with a rock and a ratchet, shot her in the eye, and stabbed her.
News of that case rocked Prescott.
The case went unsolved, but investigators say Bennett's violent attacks continued on. In April of 1990, a second victim threatened with a rock and sexually assaulted.
At nearly the same location.
3 months later, a third victim attacked at a party in Chino Valley.
A trial commenced and he was acquitted.
In June of 1993, a fourth victim who Bennett threatened with a sharp object and sexually assaulted. Her name is Renee Sandoval, and after Bennett was again let go due to a lack of evidence, she spoke out on Friday.
Pray for these victims.
Officials say it's modern DNA technology that pointed them to Brian Scott Bennett all these years later. Rich Finston is a cold case volunteer with the Sheriff's Department and says the first case he was assigned was Cathy's.
And that was 12 years ago.
Emotional as he relives the case. He says the ratchet used by Bennett contained the most DNA.
Number one contributor was the victim. Number two contributor was Brian Bennett.
But justice today doesn't come in the form of an arrest. Brian Bennett died by suicide in 1994 in Kentucky.
This guy was a monster who preyed on other women, and that he wasn't able to hurt others after all those years. Yes, I'm glad he's dead.
Salvatore reflects on the last birthday card Cathy gave his mother before Cathy was killed.
P.S. Everything is okay.
Both of their parents have since passed away. For them, this day of justice never came. But for Salvatore, he says this is closure.
I thought I would just go on not knowing, and to get an answer like this was a big relief.
And sheriff's officials say, unfortunately, it's likely there are more victims out there. Bennett's DNA is now available in a database to other law enforcement agencies. Bianca Bono, 12 News.